Math 2, Unit 5, 5.7 and 5.8, we're talking about coordinate geometry. What is a coordinate or coordinate plane? It's where you have your grid, like an X and Y axis is a coordinate plane. And so when you have coordinate geometry, we're finding a piece, like a point on a graph, okay? In your books, this is there. It's on page 316. You don't need to turn to it because you have it right there in front of you. But basically, they are using letters instead of numbers to represent these points, okay? I feel like this is a little bit complex right now, and so we're going to do some other examples, but if you want to go back and look at this after the lesson is over, this will kind of make a little bit more sense. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and turn the page. And they want us to find these missing coordinates. Now, first of all, we know that all coordinates go in the order, and you want to write this stuff down, x, comma, y. This point right here, it's called the point of origin. That point right there is what ordered pair with numbers? 0, 0. And anything that is 0 is going to keep the value of 0. Anything that is not 0 is going to be given a letter. Okay? So if I were to go through here, I like to go ahead and write x and y here, and x and y here, and x and y here for each of my points because it helps me visualize exactly what's happening. So they're wanting to know, well, what is that point right there? So if you look here, what is the x value at that point? It's v. So do you see how this point right here, the x value is v and the y value is at 0? And so that means that they're going to have the same x value because it's going over the same distance. So the x value of this coordinate is v. And then it goes up a specific distance. It's not at 0 anymore, right? The y has a value. What would be the y value, do you think? R, good, because this one's going up 0 on the x and it goes up r on the y. So this point right here is at v, comma, r. That's it. That's your answer. Okay? So the answer to this, we found the missing coordinate. The missing coordinate is v, comma, r. That point right there, it goes over v and it goes up y. Okay. Do you want to ask me any questions yet? Okay. So let's go on to the next example. So this one, there's 2 missing coordinates. So again, this is our x and y, correct? Each ordered pair has an x and a y value. So I like to write x and y by all of them because it kind of helps me figure things out. So if I'm going to this point here first, okay, which one is 0, the x or the y? Y. The y is 0. Because you're going over x and then you're going up 0. So the y value is 0. What do you think my x value is? F. That is correct. This one, 0 is for the x or the y? For the x. And the y value that it went up is g. Okay, do you guys want to ask questions? Okay, moving on to the next one. So do you notice on this one how this is going the distance of b and this is going the distance of negative b? And again, I would write x and y by everything just to remind myself what is the x and what is the y. Okay, so I'd like you to go ahead and try this one on your own, plugging in the correct letters for that missing point. If you have it, raise your hand and I'm going to come check it. And maybe check the people in your groups. Okay, so the correct answer was BM. So again, okay, remember as soon as I start talking, you need to stop. Okay, this went over a distance of B and went up 0. At this point, it's still going over the distance of B. So that's why this is B. And I'm just going to draw like another grid here, okay? Let's say, so this is -2, this is 2, and 3. If I kind of drew the same figure here, this point right here is, 2, 0. What is this point right here? 2, 3. Over 2, up 3. So it's the same idea here. We're going over 2, we're going over B, so that means that has to be a B, just like both of these are 2's. Okay, and then on this one, the Y value is the same for that whole line. Just like all the X's on this line are B, all the Y's on this line will be M. So that's why this is BM. Okay, any questions? All right, I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to see if you can figure out this one. Perfect. Good, yeah. In your group, can you guys send someone to get whiteboards for you guys? Because I want you guys to show me answers on whiteboards. So send one person to get stuff.
4 whiteboards, 4 markers. Stacy.
Okay, so I'm going to start going through this one here real quick. But again, we have each of our X and Y's. So this still goes over the X value, and the X value is K. So this point, any point on this line, and I'm just going to kind of draw it out here for a minute. Any X on that line is going to be k. Same thing over here. Any y on this line is going to have the same y value. And so since y is negative c right here, this is also negative c. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay, so we're moving on to the next page now, and this is where it gets slightly more complicated. K negative c. Good? All right. So I want to show you guys a couple things. Okay. First thing is it's saying that this point right here is AB. So if I were to draw a line down here, that means that right here, this is what? A. Is everybody okay with that being A? And that would actually specifically be A comma 0 for that point. So they're saying this point right here is A comma B. So if I were to just kind of draw a little line down here, this point right here is at A comma 0. Okay? Also, if I were to draw a line going this way off of this direction, that is at what? What would be this point right here? Okay, 0 comma B. Because it went 0 on the X and up B. Focus, please. If you guys can't handle using whiteboards, then I will take them away from you. We're only doing the math on them right now, nothing else. Okay, so we're trying to find this point over here. Okay, and again, like if I were to kind of draw a line here, so that means that this distance from here to here is how much? Maybe that's really not even helpful. Do you guys have an idea? Do you have any idea what you think this might be? Okay, the y value is pretty easy, right? What is the y value? B. Okay, so let's put B here. Now, this point right here is not at S. This whole length is S, but then it goes a little more. S plus A is correct. And if you need to write it somewhere else, so it's S plus A comma B. So it went the whole distance of S, and then this little piece right here, which we know from here to here is A, that's what they added up here. From here to here, they added A. So this is S plus A comma B. Okay, so with that information that we just went through, you need to now try to figure out the correct coordinates for this one. Once you get them, you will write them on your whiteboard and show them to me. Good. 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 Just a long variable, but you have a, I need the other. So it's comma and then another value. Good. Good. No. Yes. It's like the light. No. Yes, that's right. Good. That's it. Good. 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 Good.
He said he had like
Good. 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 Okay. All right. So if I draw a line here, okay, this point right here is at D comma 0. So that means to get this right here, we would have D plus T. And then again, this whole line has G as the Y. So that is your correct order pair. And could you have written T plus D? Yes.
Yes.
D plus T, T plus D, and then G is your Y. Do we have any questions? Okay, moving on. Okay, here is another one. So using that information, we're kind of working backwards. So let's see. Wait a second. Yeah, hold on. I wrote it wrong in my notes. Good. 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 No. No. Yes.
That is not right.
Yes. Good. No. Yes. Yes. Good. Good.
What did you say?
Don't worry about it. Good. 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 Why is that? Good. No. Good. Yes. No, wait. Did I say a plus in the middle? That's wrong. Never mind. Yes, no. Yes, no, yes. Okay. First thing is that any y value on this point is going to be what? 0. So we know for sure that is 0. Okay. We know that right here, this point would be what?
V, 0.
Yeah, and I don't even know if this is helpful, but this is v comma 0, which would tell you for sure you know this isn't v comma 0. Okay? So then, in order to get this point, it has the v, but what changed? They had a w adding to it. So this one is taking the v away to get, see how right here? We have to take this w plus v and subtract out this much. Because see right here? We're subtracting out that amount. So when you do that, you're left with just w. So the ordered pair is w comma 0. So they added this distance of v in order to get this point over here, but this is going backwards. We're taking the v away. Does that make sense? Okay, I'm going to try to explain it one more time. So from here to here, this is a distance of v. What? So this right here. From here to here, this is v. And so when you write this ordered pair right here for this point, and this point is past where we're trying to get the ordered pair, okay? In order to get that point, they took w plus v. So since this is v, that means that this distance right here is w. That's like, I'm trying to explain it a different way. So that means from here to here, it's w. And if you look, remember in a parallelogram that your top base and your bottom base are congruent, they're equal. So that means that down here, see how it's going from base to base? That value is also w. So all you're doing is taking this v away. You're subtracting that out because it shifted it. I don't know. Okay. All right. So this next part, you guys should know this. We've already been talking about the midpoint formula. But remember when you're finding, I'll wait till you guys are ready. I'm just waiting till everybody's ready to focus. Your midpoint formula is right here. You can find the midpoint for any 2 points. All you do is add the x's, divide by 2, add the y's, divide by 2, and that's how you find the midpoint of 2 points. Okay? So if they want to find the midpoint of LM, that means that we need to get the point L and the point M. So far, so good. Okay, so in order to find the midpoint, I'm going to take both of the x's. So in this case, 0 plus b and divide by 2. Well, what's 0 plus b? B. So b divided by 2 is the x value of my midpoint. So remember, when you're finding your midpoint, you're adding both of the x's together and you're dividing by 2. You're adding both of the y's together and dividing by 2. So since they're asking for LM, I go to the points L and M. My x values are the numbers in front. So I have 0 and b. What is 0 plus b? B. And then, so we have b over 2. Okay? Yeah, just leave it as b over 2. Whenever you're finding the midpoint, as long as it's just 2 points, yes, you're dividing by 2. So for what we're doing today, yes, we will always divide by 2 because we're only going to be taking 2 points. It's taking the average. So for my y, I have a plus a divided by 2. What is a plus a? 2a. So when you have 2a divided by 2, what does that equal? A. So this is my midpoint of LM. Now let's look on our graph. So if from here to here is b, they're telling you to go b divided by 2, so half of b. So I go half of b, and then it says to go up a. Does that look like the midpoint of that line? Yeah. So this is the midpoint. Half of b up a. We found the midpoint of LM. Does anyone need more clarification on this or want me to explain how I got something? Okay? All right, let's try another one then. Okay, so this time they want the midpoint of LN. So if you were to draw a line, here is LN, right? It's a diagonal. They're wanting the midpoint. So my midpoint's going to be somewhere like that, right? So in order to find the midpoint, we're taking L and we're taking N and we're using the midpoint formula to find it. So I'd like you guys to try that on your own. Find your midpoint. Perfect. Good. 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 I don't know. You should show me. Good. Perfect. I did it wrong. No, it's right. Oh, it is? Yeah. Oh, cool. Good. Good. That's how I did it wrong. Check the problem. Good. Good. Robert, you got it. I already kind of made the point to show you that's where it should be and see if it makes sense. Good. 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 Good.
Yes.
All right, so when you're doing this midpoint, my x's are 0 and b. So 0 plus b divided by 2 reduces to just b over 2. For my y's, a plus 0 divided by 2. That means a divided by 2. Okay, if you look here, b over 2 would be half of b. And then this is up here is a and half of a. That makes sense that this is b over 2 and a over 2, right? So that's my answer. That's your midpoint. Do we have any questions? Okay, so this next part is you're supposed to find the 4th point. Now you need to remember your quadrants. And so let's go ahead and just make a coordinate grid right here. When you're doing your quadrants, you start here and then you go left. So this is 1, quadrant 1. This is quadrant 2, 3, and 4. You'll need to know that in order to find the correct point. So this one, they're telling you that the 4th point is going to be in quadrant 1. Okay? The first thing they want you to do is we're going to go ahead and go down here. We're going to find the slope of these points. We could use the slope formula, or could we just do rise over run? Yeah. Yes. So from the slope of AB, here's my A point, here's my B point. Okay? so rise over run, remember? So if you need to write this down, rise over run. Okay, it's also known as the change in y over the change in x. Did you know that a triangle actually means change? It's an abbreviation. Anyways, so on top is your change in y. So from B to A, what is my change? How many on the y? 2. And then it goes up 2, and a lot of you messed up on this on your test. It's going left 2. And what does left mean? So it's 2 over negative 2, which reduces to be negative 1. Okay, on BC. Okay, rising, we're going up 2. So again, we have 2. And then it's going right or left 2? Right 2. That's a positive 2. So that reduces to a positive 1. We haven't figured point D yet, but let's do DC. Oh, we can't do DC either. Where do you think D is going to be? Do you guys have any idea where you'd put the point to make it a parallelogram? What do you think, Stephen? 3, 5. So you think over 3 and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? What do you guys think? Do you guys agree? Now, do you guys see how this slope was up 2, left 2? For this point right here, all we had to do was go up 2 and left 2. And then you would want to finish drawing your parallelogram and make that point D. Excuse me. Okay, so what's the slope of DC? Two over negative 2, which reduces to negative 1. And if you notice, AB, line AB right here, and line DC, those should both be parallel, right? And they are. Okay, and then, so what do we think the slope should be for AD? Positive 1, because that should be parallel to BC. And if we look, it's going rising up, so it's up 2, and it's going right 2, which reduces to be positive 1. So basically what we found is that if you knew the slope, you should be able to use the slope to make your next point. Okay? Are you guys ready to try another one? And so this answer was D. My point D is 3, 5. So you want to write somewhere that the point is at 3, 5. Do we have questions before we move on? Okay. So, finding the fourth point. Now, they are telling you the fourth point is going to be in quadrant 3. So, it's going to be somewhere over here in quadrant 3. So, write what you think is your fourth point. Good. On your whiteboards. Once you get it, show me. Good. 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 Perfect. That's it. Perfect. Perfect. Is that negative 1, negative 1? Yeah. Okay. Good. Good, 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 good. No. Close, but no. That might be the slope, but it's a point. Yes. 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 Did anybody find an easier way of finding the point besides using slope? Okay, Nick, what did you do?
So from the far right point.
This one?
Yeah, that one. I counted how far over the other one was, and then from the bottom one, I just counted that many spaces.
Okay, so Nick knows that in a parallelogram, it has congruent bases, right? And so he counted from this point and it went over 1, 2, 3. So he went to this bottom point and he's like, okay, it's going to be the same y value, but the x is going to change, and you go over 1, 2, 3, and there's the point. And does that is it in quadrant 3? And does it look like it's made a parallelogram? And then could you use the slope and confirm that they have the same slopes? Yeah. And so the correct answer is -1, -1. Okay. And if we check here, if you check this slope, it goes up 1, 2, 3, right 2. This slope, up 1, 2, 3, right 2. So they have the same slopes. That's a way to confirm that you have the right point, is by checking your slopes. All right, 4th point on the next one. Okay, this one they tell you that it needs to be in quadrant 4. So it's going to be down here in quadrant 4. There's a lot of places you could put a point to make it a parallelogram, but they want it down here. And you might want to connect some lines to help you out. So once you get your answer, tell me what it is. Good, good, good. Perfect, perfect. Good, good. Nope. Good. Your y value is correct, but your x isn't. Good. Your x is right, but your y isn't. Yes, yes. Good, good. Yeah, Stacy or Holly, I can't see yours. There you go, got it. Steven, yes. Your x should be different. No. Yes. Good, good. Okay, so do you guys see how it's, they said it has to be in this quadrant. That's it. No. If you were to do that one, so some of you gave me like, I think I saw like, was that 2, 3? If you go right 2, up 1, 2, 3, that doesn't make like a straight parallel line. Also, it's supposed to be in quadrant 4. Our last point needs to be down here in quadrant 4. Remember how I told you to write these numbers? This is 1, 2, 3, 4. So my point needs to be in this quadrant. So if you see here, from this point to this point, how many spaces? 2. If I go to this, I want to be in quadrant 4, so I'm going to go down 2. Okay, does that look like a parallelogram?
Yeah.
Yeah, so how could I confirm that I did it right though? Check your slope. Do you see how this is a straight line slope and this one is?
Yeah.
Okay, and then also from the, you could do this slope. Up 2, left 1, 2, 3. Up 2, left 1, 2, 3. Okay, and so that point, this ordered pair, on the x-axis is going to +1, and then it goes down down 1 on the y. So that point is at 1, -1. Okay, and that is it. Do we have any questions?